tell us how the hell you ended up on Power, bro. How did
Recaps.
The Power, the BMF, how those were
DNA's path into the Power and BMF universe didn't start with TV or acting. It started in 2018, when he was still focused on battle rap and helping another artist push music. At that time, his girlfriend suggested an idea that seemed small but would change everything. Instead of constantly posting the music he was working on, he should make recap videos of the show Power, playing into the dynamic of Ghost and Tommy. DNA tried it, and the response came fast. Fans liked the style, the humor, and the personality. Soon, actors from the show and people connected to the production were reposting and reacting to the clips. Punch from This Is 50 was one of the first to consistently share DNA's Power recaps, which helped spread the content beyond his usual audience. As the recaps continued, DNA's name began to circulate quietly among people close to the show.
Seen him because he's a big battle rap fan. He was like, yo, keep doing them recaps. 50 likes him. So I'm like, 50 likes him? Like, yeah. So I'm like, oh, this nigga's just talking shit, whatever. So I keep doing them, and a bunch of actors.
During this period, DNA met Hardcore. Someone heavily connected to 50 Cent Hardcore told him directly, keep doing those recaps. 50 likes them. DNA didn't take it too seriously at first, but he continued making the content every week. In 2020, the breakthrough came when 50 Cent himself reposted DNA's recap to his official Instagram account and tagged him. The attention was immediate. Followers increased, support grew, and his recaps became a recognized part of the online Power conversation. 50 would go on to repost DNA multiple times that year, confirming that a connection was real and not just a random moment. In 2021, DNA and 50 finally met face-to-face at the Sugar Factory opening in Queens. When DNA approached him, 50 already knew who he was. 50 referenced knowing his battle rap history and following the recaps personally. During that conversation, 50 told DNA, I'm going to get you on the show. It wasn't a line, it was a direct statement. However, nothing happened immediately afterward. There was no instant callback, no contract, no direct follow-up. It was acknowledgement, not opportunity yet.
Bow Wow pulls up. Right in the Sprinter. Rain like, yo, DNA, how well you know Bow Wow? Like, nigga, I know Bow Wow. Like, you know him? Like, he's going, I'm like, yeah. Like, nigga, this is it. Bow Wow get out. I say, yo, Bow Wow, man, I'm trying to get in this shit, bro. I'm with you. Bet. Bow Wow gets me.
Later that year, DNA attended the BMF premiere in Atlanta with Rain. After the screening, there was an exclusive after-party. DNA and Rain tried to get in, even offering to pay the door, but security refused. While they waited outside, Bow Wow arrived in a Sprinter van. DNA and Bow Wow knew each other from earlier studio work. DNA approached him and explained the situation. Bow Wow immediately told security to let DNA in with him. Once inside, they were surrounded by cast members and industry figures connected to the show. When 50 Cent entered the after-party, he was surrounded by people. Despite the crowd, 50 saw DNA, pushed others aside, and called him over. Once again, 50 told him, I'm going to get you on the show. This was now the second time the statement was made in person. But even with 2 confirmations and clear recognition from 50 himself, the role still didn't come immediately. DNA was now 3 years into creating recaps and 1 year into having a relationship acknowledged by 50, yet the opportunity still hadn't been placed. This is where most people stop. Many artists get their moment of acknowledgement and expect the door to open immediately. When it doesn't, they quit. DNA didn't. He stayed consistent and remained visible. The recaps continued, and the connection remained. But the real move forward would only happen once he realized that the actors weren't the key. The decision makers were.
Photo shoot, nigga. Yo, you good? That one's good. Take a drink. So now this nigga tells me again.
That's crazy.
Yo, nigga, I'm gonna get you on a show. So now I start talking. Then Uncle Murder and Yayo pull up, but I've been talking to Yayo. Been talking.
After those moments with 50, DNA realized that just being recognized wasn't enough. He understood that the actors weren't the ones who could bring him onto the show. The real access came from the people behind the scenes, the individuals responsible for music placement, casting decisions, and creative direction. That's when he identified Big Tank, the music supervisor behind multiple Power Universe shows, including Raising Kanan, Ghost, and BMF. DNA got his contact and sent him some of his work, but the response was direct. Big Tank told him that if he really wanted to contribute to the soundtrack, he needed 30 records, not just a few loose tracks. DNA didn't have 30 songs ready at that moment, so he sent only 3. Big Tank didn't respond again after that. DNA knew he hadn't delivered what was asked for, and the conversation went silent for months. During that quiet period, no roles came, no callbacks came, and the situation didn't move forward. DNA had already been acknowledged by 50 twice. He had been reposted multiple times. He had been recognized in person. But nothing was guaranteed. The only thing that existed was a promise, and a promise doesn't turn into opportunity unless the work supports it. Instead of getting frustrated or stepping back, DNA continued making content. He stayed visible. He stayed active. He kept himself connected to the power conversation. Without forcing himself into it months later, the unexpected call came. Big Tank reached out again, this time with a specific request. He wanted DNA to record music for the character Famous on Raising Kanan. The offer wasn't for a background placement. It was for music that would be performed on screen by a main character. DNA immediately got to work, recording the track and sending it back. This opened the door for even more involvement. Over time, DNA ended up writing 9 out of 10 songs used by Famous throughout the season, effectively shaping the music identity of the character on the show. After the music was confirmed, DNA was offered a speaking role on Raising Kanan. It wasn't background extra work. It wasn't cameo placement. It was an official role written into the script. From recording recaps in his living room, he was now physically part of the Power Universe he spent years discussing. The moment wasn't an accident. It was a result of timing, presence, and execution that aligned after years of consistency. The placement on Raising Kanan also opened another door, involvement with Power Book 2, Ghost. DNA began receiving requests to write again, contributing to the musical world-building of characters connected to the same universe. This wasn't just a one-time opportunity. It was the start of a permanent working relationship. Creating value instead of chasing spotlight is what made the door stay open this time. DNA didn't get into the Power Universe because of a viral moment, a lucky encounter, or a single cosign. He got in because he delivered consistently over time. He stayed visible without being desperate. He built familiarity without forcing himself into conversations. He treated each step like preparation for the next. Even when Big Tank stopped responding, he didn't burn the bridge. He stayed ready. Because of that, when the call came, he didn't have to prepare. He only had to respond. Once DNA officially became part of the Power Universe, everything shifted. His name was no longer just associated with battle rap. Now, he was connected to a major television franchise with global visibility. The audience that followed him for punchlines and rebuttals began to see him in a new light, as an artist who could adapt, perform, write, and develop character identity. His music contributions helped shape the personality of Famous in Raising Kanan, allowing viewers to understand the character not just through dialogue, but through the sound and feeling of his environment. This was influence behind the camera and on the screen at the same time. It proved that DNA didn't just enter the show. He contributed to how it sounded, how it felt, and how it moved. Once the episodes aired and the season rolled out, the response online was immediate. Viewers recognized DNA, and many who had been watching his recap for years finally connected the long path that led him there. The comments reflected a common theme. People didn't realize how long the journey had been. From 2018 recaps to music placement to acting and writing, the timeline showed that the opportunity was not sudden. It was built step by step. Others in the industry also began to view him differently. What started as tribute content had now become collaboration. The same people who once only saw him as a battle rapper now reached out to him as a creative partner, a writer, and a contributor to a major television property. With the success of Raising Kanan, DNA continued to receive more opportunities. Writing responsibilities expanded, not just for one character but across different musical scenes. The more he worked, the more the writer's room and production teams trusted his instincts. He had proven that he understood tone, character voice, and narrative placement. That skill made him valuable beyond just any single appearance. He wasn't just involved in the Power universe. He became a voice inside it. This success also affected how the battle rap community viewed him. Many battlers step into music or try to transition into other industries, but very few find a lane that feels natural. DNA didn't abandon battle rap to chase something else. He built something on the side and let it grow. That separation made the expansion feel owned, not forced. His transition didn't take away from what he had already accomplished. It added to it. He remained present in his original scene while expanding outward, something very few public figures managed to do successfully. What stands out the most about DNA's journey is how every step was aligned with preparation rather than expectation. He did the recaps consistently, not because he believed they would get him onto a show, but because he understood the importance of staying active and visible creatively. When 50 Cent acknowledged him, he didn't treat it as a victory, he treated it as encouragement. When the initial opportunity didn't come, he didn't step back or complain. And when the moment arrived to actually contribute music to Raising Kanan, he was ready to deliver at a level that matched the production. There was no single breakthrough moment. It was a combination of timing, positioning, and execution across multiple years. That is what makes his story significant. The television placement was not the start of something new. It was a continuation of work that had already been happening long before. His involvement in the Power universe is not a cameo, not a favor, and not a coincidence. It is a result of sustained creative effort and long-term consistency. DNA's story is not about going viral or getting lucky. It is about staying visible without forcing yourself into the conversation. It is about building relationships through reliability rather than expectation. It is about being ready when the opportunity appears, even if it comes years after the first step. The work he put in ensured that when the door opened, he walked through it already prepared for the room on the other side.